Good morning. All right, it is Monday, December 23rd. Merry Christmas! It's almost Christmas. All right, so I've got paint on me. I've been painting. Oops. I probably have paint out all over and don't know. Probably on my other arm. Who knows? So let's get started. Where's my notes? All right. Hi, Brandy. So today I am going to talk about weight, and I know when I have you guys answer the questions to join the group, I have like a list of things that you want to manifest, and the number one thing is more money. The number two thing is weight or better health or weight loss. They're kind of, I don't know. I have them lumped into one group, and I know that not everybody wants to lose weight, and not everybody has like some kind of disease they want to heal, but it was the second most popular thing of all. So I know that it is very much on your minds. And I did tell you guys last week that the topic today was going to be weight loss or weight release. So if you saw my post this morning, I already got started on this topic by doing that post. And that post said that we release behaviors naturally when they no longer serve us. I mean, not in those words. I actually copied it from an article that I found. But it's totally true. If we are doing a bad habit that we're trying to stop and we can't stop, it like never seems to be conquerable. It's because that is actually serving you. Its benefits are outweighing the negative of having it. And so if you are struggling with your weight or any health issues, really anything with your body, it's actually serving you in some way that you have not found a better way to get met. So I'm going to pull my favorite book out really quick. I've been painting in here, so I've kind of got a mess. Feelings buried alive never die. And if you look up in here, the emotions behind, and there's obesity, overeating, and overweight. And those are all separate in here, which I thought was interesting. So obesity, the emotions behind obesity. Using food as a substitute for affection. Inability to admit to self or others what you really desire. I think that's really common too, because we kind of live in a world where if you tell people what you really want and what you're working for, they usually give you a bunch of reasons why that's a bad idea. I don't know why people do that. When I post goals, like especially health goals, all kinds of comments about why that's a bad idea and why I shouldn't try to lose that much weight or whatever. And it always shocks me because I'm like, this is my goal. Why do you care? I'm not forcing this goal on you. So I think that that's a super common thing to be scared to admit what you really want, because people will tell you why it's a bad idea. Another reason is inability to express true feelings, seeking love, protecting the body, trying to fulfill the self, and stuffed feelings. So, hey, oh man, there's a lot of you on here. Hello, good morning. So those are the feelings buried alive, emotions under the obesity entry. And then the next one is the overeating entry. And it says tension. So when you're stressed, feeling a lack of materials or emotions. So you can physically feel lacking, or you can feel like you're lacking emotions. Janice, sometimes it makes people uncomfortable if they have issues themselves. That's right. That's so true. They immediately think, oh gosh, that makes me feel guilty because I have that issue, so I'm going to get triggered. Nicole, hello. Okay, so overeating, tension, feeling a lack physically or emotionally, craving closeness, so loneliness basically, putting on emotional armor, a symbol of power and desire to throw your weight around. That's funny. And emotional energy based on anger and resentment. So those are all emotions behind overeating. And then the next one is overweight. So I'm not sure what they consider different between obesity and overweight. Maybe obesity is to a greater degree, but under overweight is feelings of insecurity, feelings of self-rejection, wanting to protect the body, seeking love and fulfillment, attempting to fulfill the self. Feelings are being stuffed inside, and then unexpressed, misperceived, and inappropriate feelings. That one's really interesting. I could do a whole episode on that one. Those are really interesting. So I ate my emotions, right, Janice? That's so true. When you look at all these things that are behind weight issues, I mean, is it any wonder that most people are struggling with their weight or their body in some form or another? So I was doing some studying about this, and they said they can prove, and the number's probably way higher, that about 50% of women with weight issues have experienced either sexual harassment or abuse or molestation at some point in their lives. And so if you feel like your body makes you unsafe, if your body creates you to be a target for sex offenders, okay, then there's a whole gamut of reasons to feed yourself too much. Okay, so number one, you're going to protect yourself by looking less appealing, by looking less tempting, right? If you're overweight, then the sex offenders aren't going to want to attack you. So there's one. Another is if you are feeling anxiety about men looking at you, then food is a really easy way to comfort feelings of anxiety. And a lot of people eat too much, or they eat when they're not hungry because they're feeling anxious. And comfort food, there's a reason that that's a phrase. Food comforts you. It releases serotonin. It makes you feel better. And so when you are feeling anxiety of, being scared that you're too attractive, being scared that you're going to be targeted, or being scared that somebody looked at you in a disgusting or scary way, you're going to go eat because eating food will comfort you. Faye, you've been doing emotion releases on this. That's really good. So what I think would be a really good idea is, so I said in the beginning, remember, if a bad habit is benefiting you more than it hurts you, you're going to keep doing it. And you will just naturally drop behaviors that don't serve you if they stop serving you. So if you're still doing it, if you're still struggling with it, and you're still failing at overcoming it, that's because deep down it's serving a need that you need met. So here's my suggestion. Make a list of all the benefits, yes, I said benefits, of being overweight. We'll let that sink in for a second. Make a list of the benefits of you being overweight. How is that good for you? How does it serve you? And this might seem really hard at first. You might think, well, that's stupid. There are no benefits. So here's how you would start. If you're at that point where You don't believe there's any benefits. And I'm sure probably some of us are at that point where we don't believe that. We think it's crazy. Then just make a list of the effects of being overweight. Just make a list of like, so I made a list, for instance, I made a list of my own things to help you guys think about this, okay? So the first one that came up for me was I can't go shopping at any store I want to. I'm very limited in where I can shop. Okay, that's very surface level. But I kept going. I came up with 12 just in a few minutes. I could have probably come up with 100 if I kept going. Number 2, I can't be fast. Like if there's a reason I need to hurry up and get somewhere, I can't get there very fast. And I don't have a lot of stamina, so I can't go for a long time doing something physically difficult. Number 3, hate looking in the mirror. Number 4, if I ever get rejected for something, and this is where this is where I started to get deep. If I ever get rejected for something, I can always say, oh, it's because I'm fat. If I were thin, they would have totally accepted me. I would never have been rejected if I were my perfect size. So I think that's probably my biggest one, is that it's an excuse that if I am ever not perfect at something, socially, then I can always say, well, it's just because I was overweight. They were like, oh, she's just as good as this other one, except that the other one's thin. So let's do the thin person. So I think that is probably one of my really core ones, is that I don't ever have to take responsibility for not getting the things I want. Because I can just say, well, I only missed out on that because they didn't want a fat person. Remember I warned you last week there would be lots of crying this week? Okay. Next is I maintain the balance in my family roles. Now, when I say family roles, I mean original family, not the one I created, but the one I was born into. The one I was in when I gained all the weight. Okay? So if you gained all your weight in your current family, like your spouse and your kids, then you have different family roles. I gained my weight when I was 16, and so for me, that family roles is my original family. And so I maintain the balance in my family roles and keep everyone else comfortable. Because what happens when someone in your family has always been the big one, they've always been the overweight one, and all of a sudden they drop 100 pounds and they look amazing? Think about that. I know right off the bat you'll be like, oh, that's great. I'm so excited for them. But are you really all the way excited for them? Deep down, they've upset the balance. They have upset the balance in the force. And I'm going to be like, I'm going to be super honest about some stuff today. And in this one, for instance, we used to have a doctor. She was a woman doctor, and she was overweight. And I'm not sure what she did exactly, but she dropped like 100 pounds. And we stopped going to her. How weird is that? I mean, it's not weird, but she upset the balance. And suddenly we couldn't relate to her anymore. And so Your thing might be that if you get thin, people won't be able to relate to you anymore and you'll lose all your relationships. Your relationships will all be weird and awkward and you'll lose your friends. Okay, that was 5. Number 6. If I'm overweight, I'm seen as safe and not a threat. So if you are, especially if you have people-pleasing things, if you don't like making people feel uncomfortable, you're going to want to maintain the status quo and you're going to want to look like you are safe. You are fun. You are not a threat to anyone. Number 7, I get a pass on strenuous activities. So like if somebody needs help moving, they're not going to ask me to carry big heavy boxes upstairs because I'm already carrying 100 pounds, right? Number 8, I hide a little bit in public. I'm not fully myself in public because my let me go turn that off for a second. Okay. So when I'm in public, I know that I hide a little bit because the whole time I'm kind of in the back of my mind going, I wonder how many people are looking at me and going, oh, man, if she'd just lose some weight, she'd be amazing. So I feel that judgment, and I know that it's coming from myself, but we project it onto others. When we judge ourselves, we project it, and like we think everyone's thinking the same things about us, but they're usually not. Sometimes they are, and that's okay. You're thinking it. It's okay that they're thinking it, but usually you are your harshest critic. Let's see, next is number 9, I don't attract a lot of male attention. So if you're scared of male attention, if you have had experiences in the past where you have felt unsafe with a man or a male, any age, whatever, you could have been 6. Some things happened to me when I was 5 or 6 that made me not trust boys at all. And so when you have that fear of being attractive to men, you're gonna think, oh well, what can I do to be less attractive? And that is a pretty easy, common way to do it, is to gain weight. Number 10, I'm less of a target to sex offenders. You guys, sex trafficking, that's like really scary. And I don't know if I've ever been targeted and they've gone, oh, let's skip her, she's too fat. But you know, that's a thing. There are things to be scared of in this world, and that's one of them. And so if you're a really beautiful little tiny sexy woman, they can easily pick you up, carry you off, and put you into sex slavery. I know that's probably over dramatic, but our subconscious wants to keep us safe and alive. And if we have heard about sex trafficking and women getting snatched from grocery store parking lots, because I don't know about you guys, but I see that video pop up everywhere about the women getting snatched from grocery store parking lots, then your subconscious mind is going to be thinking, we've got to be safe from that. We've got to not be a target. How can we be less of a target? So you could be holding onto the weight to keep you from being a target. Oh, Gina. Gina says, you are so speaking my language with this. Holy cannoli. I'm going to for sure have to come back and watch the rest of this. I thought I was the only one that thought these things. Nope. I was approached when in LA with my hubby a few years ago. It was scary. See, that is scary. And so there are predators out there that are scary and dangerous. And if we If we feel like being fat will protect us, then our subconscious mind is going to make sure we don't ever lose that weight. Because if we lose the weight, we're in serious danger. Oh, 11. 11 is if I'm too attractive, then I'm going to have some adultery issues and I'm going to go to hell. That's a big one. That's pretty scary. And number 12 is, can I read my handwriting? Everything is what? Oh, harder. Everything is harder. So I heard a lot growing up that life is hard. Life is hard. Life is so hard. And I think that hearing that phrase a lot made me think, dang, my life seems a little too easy. I think it needs to be harder subconsciously. And so being 100 pounds overweight definitely makes life harder. So you might just be fulfilling limiting beliefs you've got going on in your subconscious mind that life needs to be harder. So that's an easy way to make it hard. All right, so I told you the reasons I came up with, and this was fast. I came up with all of these in like 2 minutes. So these are the ones that were just the most accessible, first to think of. What's your list? I want you guys all to make a list of the effects. You don't have to start with benefits. Benefits can come after. You'll probably want to sit and do this where you can actually sit and think for a while. But what are the effects of being overweight? And then as you make this list, you will start to see that your effects that you think you hate are actually something you want because they are serving a need that you've got that is not being met in a healthy way, and you've got to get it met. You have to have it met. Dysfunctionally or no, it doesn't matter. You've got to have them met. So if your needs aren't being met in a functional way, then you'll find a dysfunctional way to meet them. So go through, make a list, all the effects of being overweight, and then find how they are actually benefits to being overweight. And then you know what to do, right? Belief breakthrough. Do a belief breakthrough on all of these things. Don't do them all in one day. That would be overwhelming. Make yourself a list. Do them, do like one a day for 2 weeks. And start to address why you're overweight and address the beliefs in the background that are keeping you overweight. And that will make a huge, huge difference in your life. And you guys know my weight, most of my weight story. I'll tell you a little more of it. When I was a cheerleader in high school, I was fit. I was very healthy. I was very energetic. And something happened when I was 16 with a boy. And I started having, and I know that this was manifested by my subconscious mind. I started having a period for 6 months straight. And pretty sure I was going to bleed to death. And I went to the gynecologist that just was the one my mom had been going to. Like I didn't pick them. I didn't know anything about them. Turns out he was a very not good doctor. And so his solution to me being on my period for 6 months straight was to put me on steroids for 1 year. I was 16. I didn't know that wasn't a good idea. I didn't know what steroids did. I just wanted to stop bleeding. So I was like, okay. Faye, yes, I will tell you how to do that. Janice, I'll give you the link to how to do a belief breakthrough. Just a side note, if you guys join my advanced manifesting group, and it's only $10 a month, after every Monday morning manifesting, I'm going to go on a Zoom call to do live Q&A with everybody in my advanced manifesting group. So Janice and Faye, I would show you how to do all these things. I'd even do a belief breakthrough in the advanced manifesting group. So don't forget about that. And I will, yes, Emily, you can. So I started taking the steroids, and within the next year, I gained 100 pounds. And so by the time I was 17, I had gained an extra 100 pounds, and it was horrible. And I've never lost it. That 100 pounds has stayed with me for 30 years now. And I went to a chiropractor who does, like energy work and stuff. And he said that my body is still full of that steroid. And that was 30 years ago. It's still in there. And so I need to work on clearing that out. Janice, awesome. Okay. So there's how I gained my weight. And I manifested the blood problem because boys, I couldn't say no to boys. I wasn't safe around boys. Boys wanted to make me do things that I was not comfortable with. And therefore, I needed to do something to keep the boys from chasing me or whatever. So that was my issue. I don't know if you guys have similar issues or totally different ones. There's so many reasons to gain weight in this world. But that was my big thing. And here I am 30 years later, still carrying this 100 pounds around. But I definitely manifested it. And until I find a way to trust myself, I think that's what it is. Trust myself to do my best and to, be aware of consequences, be ready to suffer the consequences. Until then, I'm not going to really release my 100 pounds. And so, until it stops benefiting me, I will hang on to it. And you can try to lose weight all you want. But if your human needs are being met emotionally by being overweight, it's not going to last. Like even people who get gastric bypass, those surgeries, if they don't deal with the emotional issues behind it, they gain it all back. And that's horrifying. That would be so depressing and so horrible, I would think. So do a belief breakthrough. Make a list of all your effects, all the things you hate about being fat, and then look at them again and find out how they're benefits, and then do belief breakthroughs on all the things that come up. And that's how you overcome weight issues. And just so you guys know, belief breakthrough does not work quickly because we are onions. Every issue we have has layers and layers and layers and layers and layers. So every belief breakthrough you do gets a layer. So don't think one belief breakthrough is going to do it. I have done probably 50 belief breakthroughs on my weight, and obviously still have not resolved it. So it could be 100, it could be 500. I don't know. That's why I say do a belief breakthrough every day, because you don't know how many layers you've got to get through until you have resolved the inside core issue. So if you do them every day, you're just going to get closer and closer to it. All right. So if you want to join the Advanced Manifesting Group, we start January. So next week's my last normal week. And then starting in January, every Monday after Monday Morning Manifesting, I go straight into a Zoom call where we continue Monday Morning Manifesting in the private advanced group in the Zoom call. And in there, we'll actually do a belief breakthrough. We'll answer your specific questions. I'll write you little mini manifestos. It will be really amazing. It will help you progress a lot faster. And it's only $10 a month. Also, you get 10% off all my coaching packages. You get half off all my webinars. And there's a whole list of awesome stuff you get from it. So anyway, that's it for today. I hope you guys have a great Christmas and happy holidays. I love you. Thank you for all your support. And I hope today was super helpful. Do your belief breakthroughs. That's the only way to really lose weight, I think, is to do belief breakthroughs on all your issues. Thank you for all the hearts. All right. I am going to go get ready for my Christmas party I'm going to tonight. Yay! So I will see you guys later. Have an awesome day and happy holidays. Mwah.